Nós estamos iniciando agora e temos o nosso convidado, Ryan Niemiec. Ele é diretor de educação e psicólogo do Instituto VIA de Caráter, e então nós podemos começar. Yeah, we can start.
Okay. Well, thank you very much to you, Gilmara, and thank you to Fabio and to everybody at APPAL. I'm very pleased to be here with you from Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States.
Obrigada, Gilmar e Fábio. Estou muito feliz por estar aqui com vocês hoje, juntamente com a APPAL, falando de Ohio, Cincinnati.
So I'm here today to speak with you about the backbone of positive psychology, the central concept in the field, which is the science of character strengths.
Bom, eu estou aqui hoje para falar para vocês dos fundamentos da psicologia positiva. Então, os conceitos fundamentais, essenciais, sobre as forças de caráter.
And the reason I'm referring to it as the backbone of positive psychology is because every area in positive psychology, whether it's mindfulness or savoring or positive emotions, relationships, accomplishment, and so on, all of them have character strengths at the core, or character strengths as pathways to getting to those areas of well-being.
Eu vou falar sobre as forças de caráter porque não importa o tema que você estude na psicologia positiva, não importa se é o savoring, se são outras coisas, mas tudo envolve as forças de caráter.
So I hope I'm able to really impart just how important these character strengths are for our lives and for the lives of our clients.
Então, eu espero poder compartilhar com vocês o quanto é importante nós sabermos e aprendermos sobre as forças de caráter para nós e para as pessoas da nossa vida.
And before I get into it, I thought I would share with you some photographs of my 3 children, all who are under the age of 5.
Mas antes de nós começarmos, eu só quero compartilhar com vocês as fotos dos meus 3 filhinhos, que todos têm menos de 5 anos de idade.
So in the upper right corner is my son Reese, who, as you can see in the picture, is quite prudent and careful. So that character strength of prudence. And then also, once he starts to connect with people, he's very zestful.
Então, o meu filho, o Reese, que está no cantinho da direita lá em cima, ele tem a virtude da prudência. Então, ele é cuidadoso, mas uma vez que ele começa a conectar com as pessoas, ele tem muito entusiasmo.
In the bottom right, you can see Ryland, who comes at all situations with humor and playfulness, and always there for a smile and wanting to connect with people.
E na parte de baixo, na direita, é o Riley. Ele tem muito senso de humor e ele sempre quer conectar com as pessoas.
And on the left, we have Maya, who in this picture is just 1 month old. But I characterize her with the strength of zest because, as you can see, at only 1 month of age, she's already dancing.
E na parte da esquerda, nós temos a Maya. Right, Ryan? It's Maya?
Maya.
Maya. Ela, apesar de... Aí ela tinha só 1 mês na foto, mas ela parece que está dançando.
So that's my one joke for the day about her already dancing in that picture.
Essa é a minha brincadeira do dia, porque eu disse que ela está dançando.
So for this presentation, I'd like to review core concepts with character strengths, some of the research in character strengths, practical strategies, and then go through resources.
Bom, então nós veremos os fundamentos, né, dos conceitos sobre as forças de caráter, e depois nós falaremos da parte mais prática.
So here, starting with core concepts, we'll go through a couple slides. Many people ask or say that they like VIA or work with VIA. And so VIA really has three different meanings. So there are three ways to think about VIA. There's the VIA Institute on Character, which is the nonprofit organization in Cincinnati, where I work.
Existem três formas de nós vermos o VIA. A primeira é o Instituto VIA, onde o Ryan trabalha.
And our mission at the VIA Institute is to advance the science and practice of character strengths. Second, when people think about VIA, they think of the VIA classification, which is the universal language of character strengths and virtues.
A segunda forma de nós falarmos do VIA é sobre a classificação do VIA, da classificação das forças e virtudes do character strengths.
And third, there's the VIA survey, which is the psychometrically valid, free, online tool for measuring character strengths.
E a terceira forma é o teste do VIA, que é um instrumento que é realizado online, que é para a pessoa identificar e classificar as suas forças e virtudes.
We have a number of different valid measures in the study of character, but the main VIA survey has been translated into 37 languages.
O VIA foi traduzido em 37 línguas.
And it's been taken by over 4 million people and reached every country around the world.
Foi feita por how many people?
Over 4 million.
Acima de 4 milhões de pessoas ao longo do mundo.
When we think about this concept of character, and if we review what the research is saying about character, we can think of three key things. And those three things are that this work of character is about the three things you see in the box there: personal identity, benefit to self and others, and the collective good. Okay? And so this work is the result of a comprehensive 3-year project that resulted in a common language for thinking about what's best in us.
É uma pesquisa que levou mais de 3 anos para chegar numa linguagem comum sobre as forças, né?
So these character strengths tell us about who we are, and they help us to reach different positive outcomes, and they help us to be better human beings.
Essas forças podem nos dizer quem realmente nós somos e como nós podemos ser melhor para a nossa coletividade.
Now, character strengths can be distinguished from several other categories of strengths that people have. So we have talents, which are hardwired strengths within us. We have skills, which are proficiencies that we develop as a means to an end.
Temos recursos, habilidades, técnicas profissionais, né, que nós desenvolvemos nos nossos trabalhos.
We have interests, which are our passions, our hobbies, those things that really excite us.
Temos os nossos interesses, os nossos hobbies.
And there's a strength category of resources, which are those supports outside of ourselves, like having a good family and lots of friends. Resources are those external strengths that help to support us. So having family and friends, living in a safe neighborhood, those are different supports that help us, and that's a strength. But it's our character strengths that are the mechanisms for making all of those other types of strengths shine. Now let's look at some other specific kinds of character strengths, different categories of character strengths.
Agora vamos ver algumas categorias das forças do caráter.
So this is a graph from one of our VIA interpretive reports. It shows the rank order and raw scores of the 24 character strengths for this individual.
Então esse gráfico mostra a classificação das 24 forças no indivíduo.
And so by looking at this, we can see that the individual is high in particular strengths, and we might think of these as signature strengths, those strengths that are most core to who you are.
Então aqui nós temos os primeiros 5, são as forças denominadas forças da assinatura, que quem define melhor a pessoa.
Those strengths that come up lower in our profile, for example, our bottom 5, 6, or 7 strengths, can be viewed as lesser or lower strengths. It's important to remember that those that come up low for us are still strengths, not weaknesses, but strengths that we haven't given as much attention to or maybe haven't developed as much.
É bom lembrar que essas forças não são fraquezas, são apenas forças de baixo uso, né, que nós podemos incrementar o seu uso.
Another concept that's useful in the science of character is phasic strengths. Phasic strengths are strengths we use when the situation calls for it. For example, we might bring forth a high amount of bravery in a situation to help someone.
São forças que nós usamos em determinadas situações. Então, uma determinada situação, nós utilizamos mais a nossa coragem, por exemplo. São forças situacionais. Né?
And a couple other categories of strengths we can think of are also happiness strengths.
Existe uma outra categoria de forças que são denominadas de forças da felicidade.
The 5 strengths that are circled in blue are the strengths that in study after study after study have been found to correlate highest with happiness.
Então, essas forças que estão assinaladas em azul são as forças que os estudos têm demonstrado que são as mais correlacionadas com a felicidade.
There have even been studies that have found that these strengths, when focused on, can cause happiness.
Então, o que os estudos mostram que essas forças, quando utilizadas, elas causam a felicidade.
As you can see, these strengths are curiosity, love, gratitude, zest, and hope. And it is zest and hope that are the two that are far and away the highest connected with happiness.
Então, nós temos a força da curiosidade, do amor, da gratidão, do entusiasmo e da esperança, sendo que o entusiasmo e a esperança são forças mais promissoras, né, com relação à felicidade.
Another useful concept is to think about how we can bring forth too much of our strengths in a situation which is called the overuse of strengths.
Outro conceito importante é quando nós utilizamos em excesso uma força, né, que é denominado uso overuse, né, que é o uso excessivo de determinada força.
Or in any situation, we can bring forth too little of a strength, and that can be viewed as the underuse or the underplay of the character strength. So like so many of these concepts that we're going through here, they all have a lot more depth to them and a lot of potential application for use. So let's move into looking specifically now at some of the research on these concepts.
Então vamos ver agora algumas pesquisas e estudos sobre as forças.
First, there have been some findings that some strengths are more commonly endorsed around the world, across countries, than others. So the strengths that are most highly endorsed, and you might have already said this, Fabio, are honesty, fairness, kindness, critical thinking, and curiosity. And most people on the planet have at least one of these in their top 5. Whereas those that are least endorsed, least common, consistently in country after country, are self-regulation, humility, prudence, spirituality, and zest. So now, what do you think are the highest strengths among the people of Brazil? Here they are. Fairness, kindness, critical thinking, gratitude, honesty, and number 6 is hope.
Então, as forças mais comuns encontradas, né, no Brasil é a gentileza, a pensamento crítico, critério, né, a gratidão, a honestidade e a hope, a esperança.
So you can see some interesting things here, that gratitude comes in the top 5 among Brazil, but not as typical in other countries. But also what's especially unique is how high hope is, as hope is often a strength toward the bottom of the profiles, but it's number 6 for Brazil. Strength of teamwork and the strength of leadership were both in the top 9 for Brazil on average. And so that also is unique. So that offers us a chance to reflect on what might account for the higher levels of hope and teamwork and leadership among the Brazilian people. And how might we or you or practitioners and leaders rally across those 3 strengths and reinforce those unique strengths among people in Brazil. And continuing on in research, the VIA website, under the research tab, lists over 250 studies on character strengths. This slide shows a very short summary of some of those findings. That character strengths are connected with things like happiness, meaning, health behaviors, relationships, resilience, and so on.
Então, esse slide demonstra o site do VIA, onde existe, para cada tema desse, uma quantidade de estudos e pesquisas relativas a esse tema. Felicidade, depressão, engajamento, sentido, estudos sobre os relacionamentos, comportamentos saudáveis, resiliência, assim por diante.
And so you can read more about each of those studies and see the references for them on the VIA site. Now, in the field of positive psychology, there's a great interest in relationships and creating positive relationships. And character strengths are very much connected with positive relationships. Here you can see several studies on that, showing that character strengths are connected with more relationship satisfaction, better mood, and that we can turn our strengths into a virtue to help another person. And there's new research now that shows how important it is to appreciate the character strengths of our relationship partner. That if we can appreciate the strengths of our relationship partner, that boosts our relationship satisfaction and helps us to get our needs met in the relationship.
Apreciamos a força do outro, isso aprimora o relacionamento.
Strengths, awareness, and appreciation is then connected with better commitment in the relationship and actually higher sexual satisfaction.
Interessante, a apreciação e atenção com as forças do nosso parceiro, da nossa parceira, isso aprimora a qualidade do relacionamento e aprimora até a qualidade da relação, do relacionamento sexual.
So very exciting things here. Now I'll share a little bit of, as I've looked at the research on character strengths and dealing with problems, there seem to be 4 key roles or effects that character strengths have with problems. One is that character strengths can buffer problems from occurring or from getting worse. Another is what I call the healing role or the healing effect, meaning that character strengths help to manage problems or help people overcome problems, such as the use of signature strengths to lead to less depression.
A segunda característica é uma característica curativa, onde terapêutica, né?
A third effect is character strengths being quite connected with resilience, meaning that they help people to bounce back from problems, which has been shown in studies of adolescents in war-torn countries and among people who have experienced natural disasters, to name just 2.
O terceiro aspecto é a resiliência, que a utilização das forças de caráter, ela promove a resiliência e facilita a pessoa lidar com traumas, adversidades e superar essas situações.
And a fourth effect or role is reappraisal, which means that character strengths can be used to reframe a problem, to help people to look at their difficulty or their stress through a different lens, a different interpretation.
E a quarta característica é que as forças e virtudes, a utilização das forças facilita a reavaliação, a ressignificação cognitiva das situações, a pessoa pode ver as situações em outras formas.
And so one of the ways to do that reappraisal or reframing is what we were talking about earlier with strengths overuse and strengths underuse.
Uma das formas de ressignificar a situação problema é, como nós falamos, a questão de usar demais uma força ou usar de menos.
Every one of the 24 character strengths can be plotted on a continuum like this, where too much of the strength is overuse, too little is underuse, and that in a particular situation, there's an optimal strengths zone.
Todas as forças do VIA podem ser explicadas nessa linha do baixo uso para o uso excessivo, né? E nessa linha existe uma região, um ponto de ótimo desempenho, de ótimo uso.
So for example, too much curiosity and I am becoming very nosy and intrusive, overusing it. And then too little curiosity, and I'm bored and disinterested.
Por exemplo, utilizar demais a curiosidade, a pessoa pode ser invasiva, chata, e
underuse has begun to be studied, and what's been found so far is that the use of character strengths in the strength zone is connected with more flourishing, more life satisfaction, less depression, and overuse and underuse of character strengths are connected with less flourishing, less life satisfaction, and more depression.
A força é utilizada dentro da sua zona de otimização, ela está correlacionada, né, com maior florescimento, com maior satisfação e com menor depressão, em relação ao quando ela é sobreusada ou subusada.
So now we've talked a little bit about some key concepts and gone through some of the research. Now let's talk about some applied areas of how do we make this into practice.
Então agora vamos falar sobre algumas aplicações práticas.
So one practical application is how you help people initially to connect around their VIA survey results. You know, what we could think of as a meaningful strengths introduction. Example, for those of you that are teachers or professors working with students with the VIA survey, but also good for those of you that maybe work with clients or for your own family. You can follow these 4 steps.
Aqui tem algumas dicas, né, alguns passos que nós podemos utilizar, seja com clientes, seja nas nossas relações, nós que pretendemos utilizar e trabalhar com o VIA.
And so it's a good way to really help people to begin to bring their thinking forward around these strengths, but also their feelings, how they feel about their results. And so this can be done by first, after people take the VIA survey, having them share their reaction to the results, sharing their 2 highest strengths, and how much they endorse or accept those strengths. And then finally, one example for how they use those strengths in their life.
Primeira nós incentivarmos como a pessoa reage, a pessoa compartilhar, né, a sua impressão.
Another example of a practical application is the concept of strength spotting. And we can spot strengths in ourselves or in other people. Those are the 2 pathways for strength spotting.
Uma outra prática das forças é o foco, dar enfoque, né? Pode ser dar um enfoque numa força em si próprio ou dar um enfoque numa força de outras pessoas, né? Quer dizer, denominar, dar um nome para a força, né? Observar o comportamento.
And so if you're spotting a character strength in a loved one, in a client, in a movie character, there's 3 simple steps that you can follow. First, you name the strength that you're seeing. Then you note the rationale or behavior for how you're seeing that strength. And then third, expressing appreciation for that person's strength expression when possible.
Aqui ele está falando de 3 dicas para dar esse enfoque na força, né? Primeiro é denominar a força que você identificou na pessoa, observar o comportamento que expressou, né, aquela força e expressar uma apreciação por aquela força.
So as an example, I might label my son's focus on his homework as perseverance and say, Reese, I wanted to tell you I see so much perseverance in you because you kept going and going and trying so hard to stick with that difficult homework task. And I really appreciated seeing that. I really appreciate your hard work. So another important exercise and area is to work with signature strengths. And as we've talked about, those are the strengths that are most central to who we are, to our identity.
Uma outra forma de trabalhar é nós trabalharmos, então, com as forças da assinatura, que é as forças que expressam a identidade da pessoa, quem ela é.
And we can learn from intervention studies, randomized, placebo-controlled studies that find that one particular exercise with signature strengths is better than all the other positive psychology exercises that have been studied so far. And the exercise is to, according to this research, take the VIA survey, identify one of your signature strengths, and then use that signature strength in a new way each day.
Então, desses exercícios que esse estudo indica é a pessoa identificar uma força da assinatura e praticar essa força de uma nova maneira todo dia.
And so when we use one of our signature strengths in a new way each day, we're expanding the way that we see ourselves, expanding the way that we express the best of us in this world.
Quando nós utilizamos uma força de assinatura de novas maneiras todo dia, nós expandimos a nossa forma de ser, a nossa percepção.
Now, one more practical exercise to share with you, a practical model, is the main strength-based approach for working with character strengths. And it's called Aware, Explore, Apply.
Uma outra abordagem que é a AEA, né, que é uma abordagem para se lidar com as forças, que é perceber, estar consciente, explorar e aplicar.
So these are the three steps that strength-based practitioners take when working with someone's strengths.
Esses são os 3 passos que praticante que utiliza a abordagem das forças aplica no seu trabalho.
The first phase of Aware is about breaking through strength blindness and coming to see and to name those best qualities within us.
Então, a primeira etapa é estar consciente, né? Desvendar a força e denominar e perceber.
And that next phase of explore is about really digging into the strength and looking at how the individual has used the strength in the past and how they might use the strength in the future and how they use the strength to deal with problems at good times and bad times.
A segunda fase, a fase da exploração, onde nós exploramos a utilização da força no nosso passado, nas experiências, como nós utilizamos aquela determinada força para superar situações.
And then finally, after enough digging and exploring has happened, then the individual is ready to take action and apply the strength and set some goals around working with that strength. Shared with you a couple different practical exercises. My next book coming out next year goes through 65 research-based activities for working with character strengths. So there's much more than this. That's some additional resources that could be helpful to you. So this is the banner for the viacharacter.org website.
Então, alguns recursos do website, né? Tem
You can see you can learn more about any of the 24 character strengths. So practices and information, videos at the Character Strengths tab. The Report tab reveals several different interpretive reports that people can get on their character strengths. So it's much deeper analysis with different graphs and ways of looking at the character strengths, whether you are a practitioner, somebody that works with teams, a general consumer, or a youth, an adolescent. Shows several different online remote courses that people can take on demand for a deeper dive into character strengths across different topics. And the research tab not only has the summary of the latest research on character strengths, but also there's a spot there where you can do your own research. You can get for free an aggregate of the results of your student strengths or your research subject strengths in an Excel spreadsheet. So there's a way that you can do research on the VIA survey if you'd like. Okay, and a few more resources. So this is some work going on in Sao Paulo. I thought I'd share this. There's a man named Albert Holzhacker who does a lot of work with character strengths, and he has this foundation, and he's been using character strengths in his work in public schools and in different programs, special programs for kids. I know that they have an app and have done a lot of translations of VIA stuff, and they're going to be at the Brazilian Training and Development Convention coming up later this month. And you can learn more at their website noted there below as well. Okay. Here's a look at 3 of my books. The Mindfulness and Character Strengths book talks about the integration of those 2 positive psychology areas from a research and practice perspective. And there's a manual of an 8-week program that is in there as well, called Mindfulness-Based Strengths Practice. And so this is my email. So I would welcome any of you. We can answer some questions now. And then also if there's other lingering questions, or if you're curious about something that I've talked about, want to learn more, need one of the articles, then just please feel comfortable to email me, and I'm happy to try to help you.